News Radio 630 WLAP.
Over 1,500 people have been killed in road rage accidents since 2008, and it's hot. And that time of year makes people more and more cranky. Veronica Sites joining us now. She's an expert on transportation issues. What's going on, Veronica?
Oh, gosh, the temperatures really do increase. I specialize in anger management, and we see a lot of increased rage in the summertime. And very likely it's the unmet expectation that summer brings to mind our thought of a little bit more carefree time, vacation, it's going to be relaxing. But you add hot tempers and temperatures that are rising, and you have a pretty toxic situation on the road.
So we're really just victims of our own failed expectations. Like, we think we're all going to Disney World this summer, but that's not happening. And we're mad about it?
Well, it's some unmet expectation, but the expectation that's really unmet is a need to feel safe on the road. When we drive defensively and we expect and plan to arrive safely, and somebody suddenly swerves into our lane, and let me give you a scenario. They swerve into your lane, you see them on the phone, you know there's distractions.
Yeah.
The reaction is very likely to be anger because it is a survival mode. We respond or we react in a survival mode, and fight is a big part of it. We don't just use words. Sometimes you use that nonverbal language, and of course the other driver.
Don't you think there's a healthy dose of our national wussism in that, because we're passive aggressive as a society? We don't confront our issues head on, and we say things about the other driver we would never say to their face. We make gestures to them that we would never say if there wasn't a pane of glass and a body of car steel between us and them, and we were just out on the street together. It's almost like Facebook to me, right? Like on Facebook, people think they're anonymous, but I'm like, I see your name in your profile picture, you idiot. But the car drivers are the same thing. It's like, you're not anonymous, I see you, but people have this sense that they're protected by this shell, and I think it gives us like a license to be more rude than we would be in everyday life, don't you?
Well, it certainly is a contributor. We have become so detached in our communication that you're exactly right. I mean, one vehicle to another is like one profile interacting with the other, and we don't really consider the fact that if you felt threatened, if you had all of these emotions and feelings attached to what you're reacting to, so does the other person. And we don't think through what the ramifications can be. What I advise drivers to do is just manage what you can, which is yourself.
Yeah.
Know what you're going to do.
How much of this is us being a victim of our own softness? Like, for instance, I've made this point before. We have been lulled to a false sense of security in our vehicles because our vehicle is now an extension of our home. I mean, my cars are frankly almost as comfortable as my couch when I'm sitting on them. I have surround sound in my vehicles. When I get in there, I can be enveloped in the music of my choice. I can be driving down the road and not hear another thing, and yet I'm hurtling myself down the highway at 75 miles an hour in a hunk of 2-ton steel. So in the past, man, my college car, I felt every bump in the road. I had to roll the windows down to keep cool. I knew where I was. I knew what I was doing, and I knew how fast I was going. Have we changed our transportation system in the sense that now we get real comfortable, and then anything that pierces that bubble scares us and provokes us to this reaction?
We absolutely have a false sense of security, especially when it comes to vehicles. I mean, it is a high-speed moving, it is a vehicle, and we need to recognize that what is out of our control is what really, really elicits the vulnerability of our humanity. I mean, we become scared. You're not comfortable in a car when suddenly somebody swerved in your lane, and it may be somebody that doesn't have the luxury of having a smooth rolling car that's air conditioned working, and so that's going to increase a lot of what's going on the road because you've got two different drivers. Let's just say that the situation is a car that doesn't run so well, and the bumper's half off and the windows are rolled down because that's the only AC they have. That's a situation hotbed for more escalation if the swerving has come from a car that's a higher end, really nice situation. It doesn't matter which direction the anger is, directed at.
Right.
You have two different scenarios of lifestyle comfort and vulnerability taking place there, but
okay, I have
the
about
higher
a minute.
end
I have about
doesn't
a
want their
minute
car
here.
damaged.
I have about a minute here. Let's circle back to the heat thing. Why do people get more rowdy, rambunctious, misbehaving in hot temperatures? What's going on there? Why?
There actually is a physiological component going on. Our hormones are different. Our blood pressure rate is different, and we respond differently in these kinds of conditions.
Really? That's fascinating.
Yes, we do.
All right, so give me 3 things that somebody should do if they feel that anger rising.
Well, they need to plan what's the result that you want, and prepare for the fact that you can manage your anger, and then move towards the result that you want. If you want to drive safely, plan, prepare, and perform towards that result.
Right. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it, Veronica.
Thank you.
All right. Expert on anger management, Veronica Sites.